Most people think quitting modern life looks like selling everything and moving to a cabin in the woods. But there's a much quieter and honestly more dangerous version of rejection happening right now, inside the minds of people you see every day. Your coworker who stopped engaging in office politics, that friend who takes days to respond to texts, the person at the coffee shop who brings a book instead of their phone.
We're in the middle of what psychologists are calling the burnout epidemic. Over 77% of workers report experiencing burnout at their current job. Digital overload is rewiring our brains, and yet some people have found a way out that doesn't require quitting everything. Here's what makes this fascinating. This isn't just a lifestyle choice, it's a psychological survival mechanism. And by the end of this video, you might realize you've already started doing it yourself.
Let's talk about what's actually happening in our brains. Modern life has created what neuroscientists call the hyper-stimulated mind. Every notification, every email, every social media scroll triggers a tiny dopamine hit. Sounds good, right? Wrong. Research shows that constant dopamine stimulation actually depletes our dopamine receptors over time. We need more and more stimulation to feel the same level of satisfaction. It's not unlike how addiction works. We're literally exhausting our brain's reward system. But there's something else happening too, something researchers call social performativity. Think about it. How many times have you crafted the perfect response to a text, edited a photo 5 times before posting, said yes to plans you didn't want just to avoid seeming flaky?
We're not just living our lives anymore, we're performing them. And this is where the quiet rejection begins. These people aren't activists. They're not posting manifestos or burning their laptops in protest. In fact, you probably wouldn't even notice them. They still have jobs, they still have Wi-Fi, they still show up. But emotionally and psychologically, they've checked out of the rat race. I call them the invisible outsiders. But here's what separates them from everyone else. There's a specific psychological trait these people share, and once you understand it, everything else makes sense. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, you need to understand what they're actually doing differently.
The first thing these people master is something called selective apathy. Now, before you think this sounds negative, it's not. This is strategic. Here's how it works. Your brain has limited cognitive resources. Think of it like a battery that drains throughout the day. Every decision, every concern, everything you care about drains that battery. Most people try to care about everything. Their career trajectory, their social media presence, what their neighbors think, the latest trending controversy, whether they're optimizing their morning routine correctly. People who quietly reject modern life have learned to ask one simple question. Does this actually matter to my life? Not to society, not to their industry, to them.
Research in decision fatigue shows that we make worse decisions as the day goes on because our mental resources are depleted. But when you stop caring about 90% of what society tells you to care about, you preserve that energy for what actually moves the needle in your life. They've essentially created a filter, and most of the noise, it doesn't make it through. Here's where it gets interesting. Everyone talks about minimalism like it's about owning 30 items or having an empty desk, but that's missing the point entirely. The real minimalism, it happens in your mind. These people practice what psychologists call cognitive minimalism, reducing mental overhead. What does that look like practically? They don't keep 47 browser tabs open. They don't join every group chat. They don't maintain surface-level friendships out of obligation. They don't consume content just because it's trending.
Every commitment, every subscription, every relationship, every piece of information takes up mental real estate, and rent is expensive. Studies on cognitive load theory show that our working memory can only handle about 4 to 7 pieces of information at once, but modern life throws hundreds of inputs at us daily. The quiet rejectors, they've become ruthless editors of their mental space. You know that feeling when you finally unsubscribed from that email list you've been ignoring for months? Or when you delete an app that was stressing you out? That lightness you feel? That's what they've designed their entire life to feel like.
Now, here's the trait I mentioned earlier, the one that separates these people from everyone else. It's called high internal locus of control. Basically, it means they believe they control their life outcomes, not external circumstances, not other people, not luck. And this changes everything.
Because when you have a high internal locus of control, you stop needing external validation. You stop needing the crowd to approve. You stop needing constant social feedback to know you're on the right path. This is where solitude becomes a superpower. For most people, being alone feels uncomfortable, even a little scary. We fill the silence with podcasts, music, scrolling, anything to avoid being alone with our thoughts.
But research on solitude shows something fascinating. Regular time alone actually increases self-awareness, creativity, and emotional regulation. It acts as a reset button for overstimulated minds. People who quietly reject modern life have learned to use solitude as a filter. In the quiet, away from the noise, they can hear themselves think. They can distinguish between what they actually want and what they've been conditioned to want. But here's where people get it wrong, and this misconception, it stops most people from ever trying this path. Let's address the obvious criticism. Isn't this just laziness? Isn't this just giving up, escapism? I mean, it's easier to opt out than to compete, right? Here's the twist. It's actually the complete opposite. Think about it. What takes more psychological strength? Following the path that everyone else is on, the one with clear markers and social approval? Or consciously choosing to step off that path, knowing people will question you, judge you, misunderstand you? The default path has momentum. It carries you along. You wake up, check your phone, go to work, chase the promotion, buy the thing, post the update, repeat.
That path is easy because it requires no active decision-making. You're just flowing with the current. Quiet rejection, that requires constant, active choice. Research on decision-making and willpower shows that going against social norms requires significantly more mental energy than conforming. Every day, these people are choosing differently, consciously, deliberately. This isn't quitting, it's reprioritizing. This isn't laziness, it's intentionality. This isn't escapism. It's the most grounded thing you can do, deciding what your life is actually for. So here's what we've uncovered. The psychology of quiet rejection isn't about hating the world. It's not about being antisocial or anti-progress. It's about a deep, almost radical love for your own peace. It's about recognizing that your attention is finite, your energy is finite, your time is finite. And maybe, just maybe, you don't owe all of it to a system that profits from your exhaustion.
Now, let me know something. Have you felt this? That quiet pull away from the noise? That voice in your head that wonders if there's a different way? If you have, comment the word peace below. I genuinely want to see how many of us are actually out there, how many people are quietly walking this path. Because I think there are more of you than you realize. You know what's funny? The loudest way to rebel against a noisy world is to be silent. If this video resonates to you, you might like these others videos appearing on your screen right now. I'll be back soon with more content, so stick around so you do not miss any of it. Take care.